Thanks, Luke. You guys doing okay? How's that? Better? All right. When Dad was the principal at Skowhegan, at the end of the school year each year, he would go to the New Balance store to get presents for the teachers who won an award. Every year was the same. The owner said he would come into the store, scurry around from section to section, grabbing things as he went, and always out within 10 minutes. It was strange, but also efficient at a level she had never seen. After several years of this, the owner said he came in and was shopping as he always did and asked her what time it was. She told him 10 past 1, and he replied, "Hell, your award ceremony started at 1. She asked him why he would wait until the last minute to do this. His reply, "Because I work well under pressure." Now I understand why I waited until last night to write this speech. Guess I like the pressure too, Pops. Many of you don't know this about my father, but he was somewhat of a food connoisseur. I was recently reminded of this fact when I heard a story about my dad traveling to Germany with my mom and another couple. While there, they drove into Austria, and everyone was excited to experience the culture and taste of local cuisine. They passed several restaurants until Dad finally found the perfect spot: McDonald's. The man loved his cheeseburgers. Like many Michelin star chefs, he appreciated the colorful palette. Yellow and pink lemonade, green lemon lime soda, the bright purple of a grape soda, the sort of historic red in a Maine red hot dog, not to mention the texture and crunch. During my junior year in high school, my dad took a 6-month sabbatical to spend time with his ailing mother. We decided that Dad and I would stay in Aspen through soccer season, and then he would join my mother in Maine, who was getting settled into a home they were renting near Pine Point. During those 2 months, Dad cooked for me, almost every night. It was him stepping up to the plate to provide for his son. He showed me how to be a man, how to be a great father during that time. The problem was, he knew how to cook exactly 2 things: egg salad sandwiches and cheeseburgers. And I didn't like egg salad sandwiches. So cheeseburgers is what I ate every night for a month. That was my diet. True story. Well, and the call to Mom ratting him out worked, because we did start to have some fruit, sliced watermelon, and added a whole new meal to the mix: spaghetti and meatballs. Well, SpaghettiOs and meatballs. You know, from the can. Unreal. We didn't last very long. We went back to cheeseburgers. Fast forward to when I was a sophomore at college. My dad called me up one Friday evening and said he and my mother were coming to Waterville the next day, and they wanted to take me out to a nice lunch. Amazing. I'm eating at the dining hall every day. A nice restaurant is a welcome change. So Dad and Mom drive up in the truck the next day. They pick me up, and Dad drives us straight to Bully's. This is your typical backdoor bites grease trap, serving hot dogs and cheeseburgers. So we order, and the 3 of us pile back in the truck right there in the parking lot, 3 deep on the bench seat, eating cheeseburgers and fries. Not exactly what Mom and I had in mind. After lunch, they dropped me back at the dorm and headed straight home to Kennebunk. My friends were absolutely horrified. They couldn't fathom why someone who would drive 2 hours to grab a 30-minute lunch and then drive 2 hours back. But they missed the point. He didn't want the food. He wanted 30 minutes with his son. No distractions. 30 minutes in the truck to catch up and see how I was doing. But that was Dad. Food That was just something with a lot of processed flour or sugar to get inside you quickly. Bill's Pizza, pure fries, Roy's Burgers, Whoopie Pies, apple turnovers, Boston cream donuts. He didn't care about spending time thinking about food. He'd rather spend time thinking about people. He cared about people. Which is why education came so naturally to him, and why I think he was the best school administrator and teacher you could ever know. Over the past month, and especially the past few days, many people have reached out, telling me how great of an educator, role model, athlete, and person Dad was. There are countless stories of how he was a true advocate for the students, how he took the time to listen and actually notice each and every one of them. And he was a great athlete who could compete with anyone on the basketball court, despite his relatively small stature. By all accounts, he was a saint, and will long be remembered for his leadership as an educator, his competitive spirit, and his bright smile. But that doesn't capture everything. In the days leading up to and immediately following his passing, I found myself drawn to his phone, eager to search through his camera roll to find photos of him and to relive some of the moments he captured. I quickly noticed how every picture was candid. I mean, they were really genuinely bad photos. Unplanned, almost always taken from some impossible angle. But the more time I spent going through the camera roll, the more I realized that that was the idea. He never asked for anyone to pose or plaster on a fake smile. For him, it was about capturing life in its most authentic form, appreciating the moment for what it was, freezing it and enjoying it. And yet, despite his lack of staging, everyone in his photos was always smiling. You didn't have to ask us to do it, because when you were with him, you were already doing it. And Dad always made his family smile the biggest. That is something you can see in his camera roll, as well as throughout the photos in our albums at home. Dad was first and foremost a family man. While his chosen profession always blended into his personal life didn't always blend into his professional life. What people need to know is just how amazing of a father Tom was and is. My favorite photo of my dad is actually one of him and Thomas. Thomas was just a few months old, and Dad was lying in bed with him, a smile on his face, a look I only understand now as a father myself, one of pure affection and pride, of pure happiness, of beautiful connection. That connection he had with my brothers and me, it was just the best. It was everything. It's why it makes losing him so hard. But I have and will carry with me so many memories that demonstrate and encapsulate that connection. Riding on his shoulders as a kid, going to the numerous professional and collegiate games with him, shooting hoops in the gym for hours while he rebounded, standing next to him when he was officiant at my wedding, as Courtney walked down the aisle, and a million others. Culminating with him grabbing me and hugging me that last night. A hug I will forever cherish, no matter how hard it makes me cry. How to make that connection with your kids is the most important thing he taught me. I try and connect with my own kids like that every day, and I always will. So thank you, Dad, for always being there for us, and for being there for everyone who needs you. You will always be remembered for your immeasurable capacity to love, your huge heart, with room for your wife, all 3 of your sons, plus our spouses, and your grandchildren, especially them. Because while he was a mentor, a motivator, a husband, a father, an uncle, I think his favorite role of all was a grandpa, a pops. Thank you, Dad, for being our rock, our teacher, our friend, and our pops.
legacy of love and laughter is one you'll carry with us always. We love you, we miss you, and we will continue to celebrate you